Okay, so welcome to the Node.js community sync on Post-mortem with promises, and I'll just hand it over to Max to give us an update.
Yep. So one of the problems we ran into was trying to get Node.js or Node report working in promises.js and Node, and because it's not part of it, you can't just call require and then do a core dump. So I try to find a way around that temporarily while we figure out if it's worth it or if we can even integrate something like that into Node. So I just tried getting a basic stack trace as soon as you hit unhandled rejection. So since that function is called, just get a stack trace going. And it looks like so far for the first couple of examples, it's lining up pretty close. But it's calling the stack trace twice if I put in that function, and I think it might have something to do with it doing it on the next tick again. Like I noticed unhandled rejection tends to get called twice, like even if you just do a simple console log in it.
Well, that's interesting. Okay, that's certainly possible. Like maybe is there a status or anything passed into that function?
No, not that I have it right in front of me. Nope, nothing like that. It just pretty much calls, and it's two different stack traces. So the first stack trace is similar to what would be if you didn't use promises at all, if you just went node test1 whatever.js, and it would line up pretty close. But then it does the second one, and it deals with the microstack, the callback tick, the process tick callback, the bootstrap around the startup. So that leads me to think that it's not related to the code we're running on Node, but with Node itself, that it does something on the next tick, or maybe it's an internal callback somewhere. But now I'm trying to, now that I've got a stack trace going, I want to get a core dump to see if those will line up. And then like after I get that, then I want to change the heap and see if the core dump still lines up with promises.
Right. Okay, so that's good. So you're making, I think that's, that sounds really good. Like, Node report was supposed to just be the easy way. If it didn't turn out to be easy way.
Yeah, it was really tempting, but now I'm just looking through just regular JavaScript stuff to kind of use what I can for now. And
instead of generating, in terms of generating the the stack trace, did you do that with V8 calls or?
No, just using just .trace. Like there's a console trace.
Okay.
I do want to use V8 call, but haven't gotten that far in yet. But I just wanted to see if I did a .trace in both, if it would at least give me something I could work with.
Okay. So yeah. So that, I mean, I guess because the first thing is we sort of wanted to prove, yes, we can get something at the right point. And so if that's getting the right thing, and okay.
It looks like it's getting the right thing. I'll work on a little more, and I'll send you like results in Wednesday's report, just so we're not out of sync. But at least the stack trace looks okay for the first like basic examples. I don't know if we start doing fancier stuff with promises, then this isn't the case. But
but I guess we have our set of examples, right? So as long as we can show that it gives us the right thing in those different examples, then that sort of would be, I think that's good enough. It's like, okay, yes, we can trigger something at the right time here. Then next, it's like, well, can we trigger? Because I think we are probably confident and continue to work on it. But I mean, we're probably confident we can figure out how to generate a core dump and or stack trace or node report given enough time at the particular point. It's then saying, okay, can we do something so that we only generate it, not in the bad cases, but in the good cases, right? So it's okay. So it sounds like you've got to the step where now you could start to look at even like what can you do in the, like, I assume you'll do a stack trace, it'll always be there even in the bad case. Then we can start thinking about, well, okay, in the case where we wouldn't want one to be generated, what would we do to try and do that?
Yeah, that makes sense. I just got to play around a little more and figure out why it's doing, or if it even matters that it's actually doing it twice. Because if you do have to stack trace. You could just ignore one, and work with the other.
I think understanding why and what, because we'll need to know when you cannot ignore this, ones that are being, that calls to that particular method, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I guess it's also is it possibly because it's the second one's happening when there's a GC or something? I don't know. Anyway.
I'll look into that, but I'm not sure.
Because there was some code at some point. I forget whether that code went in or didn't go in, but there was some code to say, well, let's, instead of doing it, on the next tick, let's do it on GC. But maybe it's that it actually is thrown on next tick now. I don't know.
Oh.
Anyway, it's probably good if you can, investigate some more till you understand, so you could sort of write it down and give us get us all to the same level before we then start to look at the next steps.
Okay. Maybe for next time we can see if there's other times in the week that would work better for more people.
Yeah, maybe if you can post in the issue to see for Benjamin if there's if this time is still good or some other time that would be good.
Yeah, because I'm pretty flexible in terms of, besides the meeting on Wednesday, most of the time I can almost any time.
Yeah, that's certainly a good idea. Interestingly, I see there's like 9 viewers, so it's okay. So it sounds good. Anything more to talk about this week?
No, not unless you have any other ideas.
No, I think I think if you can sort of, it sounds like you've made some progress. If you could, sort of finish that investigation and then sort of write down in terms of our plan where we're at and the next steps, that would be good. But I think that's probably it. The other thing we might ask is if there's any viewers on the call who have any questions. There is in the original issue, which I'll post here. If you have any questions before we close off for today, you could post them into that issue, and we'll just give people, say, 2 minutes, and otherwise go from talk next week. I don't see anything. I'll refresh just to be sure. I don't see anything yet, so I'll wait 1 more minute.
Yeah, it could always just be inaccuracies in Google's analytics, that phantom users.
Yeah, although I see 10 viewers, which is like, if there was a couple, I would maybe, but 10 seems to be more than I often see on some of the meetings. I'm going to refresh 1 more time.
Is there a regular meeting for the benchmarking project?
Yes. It's today at, let me find my calendar. Yeah, it's in this, there's a, I think, oh, there's a calendar. Actually, no, that's my calendar. There's a calendar, the foundation calendar. It's in there. It's at 3 o'clock today.
Okay, well, I'll check it.
And if you go to the benchmarking repo, there'll be an issue that has the links and everything.
Okay. I might not make it today, but I'll watch you record those 2, right? So
yes, we do.
Okay. Yeah, then that's perfect. Just so later on when if I do need to do some of the benchmarking stuff, so I'm caught up, or at least to some extent.
Sounds good. Okay, I think we'll call it for today. I don't see any questions.
All right.
Thanks, Max. I'll talk to you later on in the week, and everybody else. If you're interested and want to join in next week, just watch the issue to see if it's going to be the same time or some different time. Actually, and Max, I'm out all next week, so.
Okay, keep that in mind.
Yeah. Okay. Talk to you guys later. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.